You're listening to Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official podcast of Lingerie Fighting Championships. And now, here's your host, Michael Larkin.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another edition of Beauty, Strength, and Dominance, the official LFC Lingerie Fighting Championships podcast. My name is Mike Larkin, and joining me tonight, man, we got a special treat here for the show. She is the daughter of the legendary, the great Dynamite Kid himself. She is the Dynamite doll, Miss Bronwyne Billington. How are you, Bronwyne?
I'm amazing. I'm so excited to be here. Honored.
The feeling is mutual. First and foremost, if y'all have not been checking out the Dynamite doll here, which first and foremost, my goodness gracious, you should. You've been doing the damn thing as far as the managerial role goes, the valet role. I got to say, I've been enjoying your work.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I'm branching out into different areas of wrestling and kind of just figuring out where it is I fit, and that's kind of what I've been doing for the last 13 years, and I feel like I'm finally somewhere, you know, I'm happy and confident with what I'm doing, and just knowing who I am is it's great. It feels good.
Well, that's the most important thing in life, and I think a lot of people always say, and I'll even say this here, the managerial role, the valet role. I mean, you look at the greats like the Miss Elizabeths, the Sherry Martells, and everything that goes with being in that role. You certainly fit it, number one, but number two, you're also a huge part of the presentation, and that's really what makes a team or a superstar really what they are. So it adds a lot to the presentation and precision.
Thank you. I agree with that. And you don't see it as much today, or some people forget or don't realize how important that role is. And you're right. It is, you know, it's a part of the whole overall picture, and you add so much to it. So I love, you know, like I love tag team wrestling. So it's just kind of the same. You work off each other's energy and bring so much more to the show.
Oh, absolutely. And I've always looked at it like this. I mean, if you look at it in like modern times, like I'll even take everybody back to like 2005, 2006, when Johnny Nitro, aka Johnny Mundo Morrison, whatever name you want to call him, and Joey Mercury came out with Melina. Like when everybody thinks of the subtleties, intricacies, and nuances, Melina did the split. She did the screaming. She made up what that whole duo was.
Totally. You're all in sync, and your entrance, especially the way she does the splits and stuff, like it has to be perfectly lined up, and you nail it every time. And that's the beauty of it.
Absolutely. And first and foremost, let's talk about the name here, because as they say, Miss Bronwyne Billington, it's all in a name. The Dynamite doll certainly fits you well. It also, number two, adds the Dynamite Kid realm and also the doll. It works perfectly. Talk about just the origin of the name, because it really does suit.
Yeah. So my very first show that I did about 13 years ago, there's a gentleman here from Calgary, and he was a ring announcer for this show. I'm not sure what his past history was, if he used to be a promoter or something like that. I know he used to own some bars here in Calgary, and a lot of the wrestlers, like from my dad's era, they would frequent his bars. I think even his strip club. So at this time, he was the ring announcer, and he was the one. He's like, "You need a name. Like, what's your name going to be?" Because it was just going to be a one-off show for me, and I didn't really think about it. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess I need a name. And so he actually came up with the name. He's like, what about the Dynamite doll? Because there was, before me, many, many years before me, there was the Diamond doll, and I think he kind of just played off that name. And I was like, yeah, that fits. That's perfect. And yeah, it couldn't have been more perfect for me.
I believe that's true. Actually, looking at my wrestling history now, that made me smile, because it also takes me back into the days when Scott Hall, God rest his soul, was the Diamond Stud, and everything that really incorporates the Diamond name, of course, Diamond Dallas Page. But I think not just only having that name and really solidifying yourself on the scene, I think one of the best things I have to mention to you, because you actually put something out recently that I touched upon on one of my other shows of outside the LFC auspices. You put up a great photo with your father and the late, great Davey Boy Smith as well, with Ozzy doing everything from WrestleMania. I wanted to ask you about that, because God dang it, man, we lost another great Ozzy, but that was a hell of a moment in wrestling history.
Yes, that's absolutely one of my top moments from my father's career. And I think just, you know, me being a rock and roll girl myself, I'm like, does it get any cooler than that? My dad being British and Ozzy being like such a huge star from the UK. And he was actually the one that reached out to Vince McMahon saying, hey, I want to manage these guys. So it was actually him that reached out and wanted to be put with the British Bulldogs. So I think that is so super cool, and like can't really top that.
I agree. And I mean, I've always looked at it like this with your love for tag team wrestling and what your father and Davey Boy Smith did as the Bulldogs, like, and everything that went into the British Bulldogs name and just the overall, the mascot with Matilda, like everything that went into tag team wrestling. I look at it from a stance like this. Mick Foley has gone on record. I remember seeing him in an interview on one of the WWE documentaries talk about working with your dad when he was Jack Foley and he was an enhancement talent for the WWF at the time. So you get to see a lot of people like Mick Foley on the come up, and your dad really influenced a lot of great tag team wrestlers and singles wrestlers in professional wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. That era, when my dad was still around, I don't think he was quite in a wheelchair yet. Was it late 90s? He was backstage at a show, and Mick Foley was there, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero. So that, and everyone was just like, shaking his hand and just so honored to have him watch their match. And hey, did you watch my match? Like, get advice from, the Dynamite Kid. And so that just really showed that, how much they idolized him and looked up to him and respected him. And so that was a really special moment.
It's one of those things too. And I mean, you hear about it in wrestling all the time, keeping your eyes and ears open. And I think listening to someone like your father and the great veterans that came before you, it's such an influence and it's such a flux now. I mean, yes, in the days and the adages of social media now, we have so many things at our fingertips, but I think also at the end of the day too, film study and everything, there's a lot that really goes into the layers and levels of what we do with this and within this fine craft.
Oh, yes, for sure. And back then, you were just studying VHSs. So a lot of the wrestlers, but I guess after my dad's time, they're studying the VHSs of my dad and Tiger Mask or during my dad's time. So before it was accessible, now it's easier to find. But, we still have buckets full in our basement of recorded from like the television VHSs of my dad and Tiger Mask. I'd be interested to see if they really work still, but we still have those.
Oh my goodness.
Might want to transfer that before trying.
Absolutely. But no, I think for the younger generation who does use this, kids back in the day, we used to put the blank tape in and we would tape trading. Yeah, that's like so far into the younger generation now with like
You're like, what? Okay, Google it. Google it, people.
But I think that's the best ways to. I mean, they always say what's old is new again, but I think that's some of the best ways to learn and really adapt and grow. And I got to give a shout out in more recent times here because your cousin, Tom Billington and Adam Priest just wrestled FTR this past week on Collision. Your cousin,
Philadelphia.
Woo! Yes. And first of all, that's a big thing for you, the Phillies fan over here. Let's put that out to fruition. Oh,
yes. I'm so happy to see him there. I know I'm trying to think. I think he went to Philadelphia before I did, my cousin Tom. Sorry, I cut you off there because I got excited about Philadelphia, but he went before me and he was just as excited because both of our fathers, who are brothers, their favorite movie was Rocky, like the Rocky movies. So they were so excited to go there. And then I got to go after him and then I fell in love with Philadelphia. And then, he was just there again this past weekend. So I was like, now on Instagram, you can just share everyone's post really easy. It's like a retweet. So I'm like, retweet. My cousin in Philadelphia. We're big in Philly. It was awesome. So proud of him.
Same. I mean, his match that he had with Dax, even one-on-one on Collision, was absolutely amazing. He's really tearing it up on the indies and just in general, man. He's really, really doing the legacy of the Dynamite Kid very proudly.
Yes, and I feel like that's the first I've seen him back on AEW for a little bit, so he came back with a bang. It was awesome.
Absolutely. And I mean, it also gives more talents who are very much new to the Billington name or the Dynamite Kid name to really adjust and see what we get to see and learn about the lineage and the history and pay an homage. And I got to say this, since you were excited about Philly, I got to bring this up. So my best friend and myself, we're both New Yorkers, right? So New York Mets is what we grew up on baseball. And I got to tell you, I went to a Phillies game. We went for a couple games in 2014. The Phillies kicked our ass. And I'm going to put that in.
Aren't they playing right now? Let's see if I can.
Goodness, yes, but no, it's one of those things. Every time I think of the Phillies now, I think of y'all kicking us New Yorkers' ass back in the day. But still, they're an amazing team.
Sorry, but it's happening again.
I know. Don't rub it in, but still, I got to give you all credit. I do because the Phillies are a great team. They absolutely
they are. That's why I'm rooting for them.
But I will say this, baseball aside, as far as hitting home runs and doing the damn thing when it comes into professional wrestling, I got to say, you mentioned social media, what we get to repost and everything now, especially with Instagram. When you look at the Dynamite doll over here in the Instagram, folks, and I got to give a shout out to Paige, aka the Black Dahlia, y'all's friendship is absolutely wonderful and such wholesome behavior and wholesome material. Talk about your friendship with Paige because it's wonderful.
Yeah, and of course that was also we first met in Philadelphia. So the first time I got to go out there, we were online friends, and I just came across her on Twitter. I think Jericho had posted her, and if you dive deep into her story, she is a model and an actress. So those before her injuries, and so I was like, who is this beautiful girl that Chris Jericho's retweeting? And then I heard her story, and she became a professional wrestler. She got an injury, which then led to her CRPS, which is the most painful disease known to mankind. And yet she's always smiling. She's always positive. She's, doesn't want to give up. She's still determined to wrestle. And I was just really inspired by her story. And because my dad ended up in a wheelchair, her story spoke to me because she was in a wheelchair. She had to learn how to walk again. And I wanted to root for her. I saw her positivity and her determination, and I was like, I'm going to follow her story, and I'm going to retweet, and and we just built a friendship that way. And then kind of, on Instagram, more like actual DMs and talking. And then we met an agent that flew us both out to Philadelphia for Battleground Championship Wrestling at the 2300 Arena. And we were a part of the meet and greet there. And it was just an amazing, amazing experience. We stayed in the same hotel. We were like neighbors in the hotel. And so we first met. She knocked on my door in the hotel. And I was just like, oh my God, this is happening. And like we recorded the whole thing. And so that's how we first met. And we just were in Philadelphia again together this past July. So we're just, I don't know, we just bonded. And, I'm in Canada, she's in the States, and we're manifesting together. Like, let's put our energy together and let's just create this, double trouble is what we're calling ourselves, even though we're total angels.
I like that a whole lot. And I think the two of you definitely show within your images and in your personalities as well, the really combined ship that you have and the overall teamwork. And I look at it from a stance like this. There's a lot of great people that come by in professional wrestling. And I got to say, she's definitely one of them. There's a lot of building and foundation and relationships that go into it, man. It's a dime a dozen for real.
Yeah. And in the probably anywhere in the world, but especially professional wrestling, it's like a lot of the girls or anyone in the locker room don't necessarily have each other's back. And so I'm all about women supporting women and just true, genuine friendship. And Paige and I found that in each other. And I just think it's really beautiful.
I'm right there.
We need more of that.
I'm right there with you. I think it's such a rarity even in wrestling, but I look at it from a stance like this with how women's wrestling has evolved and really revolved. We got everything from where we used to be to where we are now, and the women like yourself included in the business, man. I think we're really showcasing all women for their strengths, their talents, especially on the main promotions, the indies. We need more of that. We need more promotions. We need more based surrounded around women's wrestling because it's such a gem time period.
And just, not feeling like we are competition to each other, but actually like being each other's support and lifting each other up. And that's just really important because you don't find that very often, in the workplace, in the locker room, wherever it may be, sports. So I think it's really important to if you find that, hold on to it and cherish it.
I agree with you. I think it's the moments and memories created and the moments and memories yet to be created that really make life worth having. And I think it also adds more blessings to just what we get to see in everyday life. Because at the end of the day, I think you could concur with me on this, Miss Bronwyne. We're all painting our canvases, so to speak. We're all artists in our own right.
Yes, absolutely. And of course, my best friend just happens to live in the USA. So, I'm trying to bring her over here, but I'm going to be frequenting Philadelphia as much as I can. And she's going to meet me there every time I go. And we want to branch out. So that's the plan, is obviously branching out to kind of that circuited area of like Jersey, New York, Tennessee. That would be amazing.
Hell yes. I definitely want to see more of that, as I know we all do. And I look at it from a stance like this. You did also mention the Rockies before when it comes to Philadelphia and the Rocky films. I got to ask you, if you had to pick, because there's so many, from Rockies 1 through 5 to the Rocky Balboa, then we got the Creed series. What is your favorite Rocky?
I'm just going to say 1 because that reminds me of my childhood and like that.
Fair enough.
That era of my dad loving the crap out of that movie. So.
Okay, fair enough. I will say this. The first one is always the best when it comes
Exactly. I agree with that too. Like Batman, and I'm still a number 1 Batman fan. I don't know about you.
Okay, you see, now you're bringing the Batmans in here. I like your style. That's even better. So I love the Jack Nicholson one. Even if you go back to the days of Adam West, still classic because it's just everything. The only Batman I got to say, and I'm sure this is a cliche for a lot of people, once we got to Batman and Robin, no. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen, but once we got towards like Batman and Robin and Batman Forever, and God rest his soul, Val Kilmer, who's absolutely amazing. But yeah, once we got to 90s ones, I don't know which ones of the Batmans have you seen? Have you seen all of them, or just mainly the originals the favorite? What are we thinking here?
I can't really remember. How many are there?
Oh my God! There's Batman Begins, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, Batman Begins, Batman versus Super. Pretty much everything and anything.
I probably stopped at the Penguin, but that 3.
No,
Catwoman, where was she?
Oh, Catwoman I think that was Batman and Robin. Somebody could get over this, or that might have been Batman Returns.
It's been a long time, but
I know.
I still say Batman 1, like the original.
I mean, The Dark Knight was still cool. God rest his soul, the Heath Ledger. That still's up there, though. I will say that. That is a plus. It's like Spider-Man with me. Like, once we got to, like, the third one and then The Amazing Spider-Man, so I'm like, okay. Like, because I like Andrew Seaford from The Social Network, but just, like, how can you beat Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst in that infamous scene, and then Chad Kroeger and Josie Scott's in the background singing Hero? Come on now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a big Spider-Man fan.
That's okay. No, but yeah, it's one of those. But we get all of them with the superhero stuff, so that's always pretty cool. It's always something for everybody. So
Absolutely.
Now, I will say this: as far as movies and everything from baseball and everything that we've discussed thus far, Mustang, I do have to congratulate you on Wrestling Hall of Fame for your dad, which I think is really, really awesome to see the Wrestling Life Hall of Fame. Talk about that, because that's such a prestigious honor.
Yeah, the Wrestling Life Online. Yeah, I actually have the award right here.
Hey,
Here.
All right now.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's awesome.
How like nice and thick and beautiful it is. So I'm going to be redoing my whole like wrestling room. I started my own podcast, and I'm going to create my own space. I need a bigger space. So I'm going to get proper like shelving and everything and get this bad boy up. But right now it's just on the desk.
Well, first
but
yeah.
I was, sorry. I cut
No,
you
you're
off.
fine. That's awesome. I think it looks great. That's really awesome. Congrats.
Yes.
That's a huge honor.
I'd like to thank Ben Veal. He's such an amazing man. I think I've been on his podcast 3 times. He has 2 different podcasts. I've been on the wrestling one twice, and then he has another one that I was on first, and can't remember what it's called, but it's just about like, not about wrestling, but like positive stories in life. So he had me on that one. And he's had Paige on his podcast as well, and that was an amazing episode. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. But yeah, he wanted to start doing this Hall of Fame, and so this was the first year that he did it. And so my dad was, in the first round of inductees, and it was just really amazing that he was in that first round and we were thought of. And, he went through, the trouble of making these beautiful plaques and put on a suit and did these online awards. And I just think it's really great. And he's so good at his job that he's going to go far in his podcasting career. And yeah, I just truly, respect him and thank him.
Absolutely. And I mean, when you think of such a prestige like that in the Hall of Fame, your dad definitely does deserve that honor, as do many great technical wrestlers like himself and anybody of the craft. But I got to say, and I'm going to ask this just because I got to ask a follow-up. Now, we mentioned Hall of Fame. We got to see your dad and the British Bulldog in there as well, too. I know Bulldog's in there, but together collectively,
Yeah. So again, everything that we're doing is a stepping stone to get my dad into that Hall of Fame. So what Ben did for me, I thank him, because again, that's just one step closer to getting my dad into the WWE Hall of Fame. And he recognizes that too. And that's why he's like, he deserves to be in there. Let's do this. Let's make some nice videos and, put out clips, and everything I'm doing with Philadelphia too. Everything I post, every podcast I do, like my followers are going up. I'm getting more shares for my dad's stuff. And it's all just about keeping his legacy alive. And, there's a movie in the works for my father. I don't know if you heard that, but that's another huge stepping stone. And I think after that movie, I really think it'll be his time to finally be where he belongs in that Hall of Fame.
I agree wholeheartedly. And I mean, and yes, congrats with the movie and stuff and everything.
You.
You're very welcome. Like, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, that first of all, not only do I definitely want to see it, as y'all should too, but it definitely does get to show, like, it highlights wrestling, it highlights tag team wrestling, it highlights the man that is the Dynamite Kid. And I'll tell you right now, I know we touched upon the dark side of the ring before, but the documentary, watching what that did with Vice, I wanted to ask you, being a part of that in itself too, because it's become so historic for wrestling viewers and wrestling fans as well. Talk about being a part of that, because they really encompassed a lot in that documentary as well.
Yes. So exactly, when we got asked if we wanted to do it, right away we said yes, because we saw it as an opportunity to get my dad's name brought back to life. And even if it's Dark Side of the Ring, and yes, it's not all happy and sunshine and rainbows, we knew that it would bring his name to the forefront again. And again, that would help just lead us down that path of getting him to the Hall of Fame. And honestly, the movie producers that approached me about the movie that's being made, they weren't huge wrestling fans. They didn't really know about my dad, but they watched my dad's Dark Side episode. And the part of my dad and I making up when I was, I reconnected with my dad after 15 years of not seeing him. And I just had my first child. So I was in my early 20s. That part and that moment of us sharing these emotions together and reconnecting is what the producer said is what made him want to make the movie. So I was like, so there you go. Dark Side of the Ring paid off. I knew it would pay off. Like, there was some worry and some scare and being anxious before we saw the episode. Like, are they going to make it look really bad? Are they going to twist our words? But the end result is exactly like it's a stepping stone to where we want to go with my dad's legacy.
I look at it from a stance too as well. That actually got me watching the two of y'all reunite in Dark Side of the Ring. And first of all, children are a blessing, and congrats being the mom that you are as well. That's wonderful. Many blessings to you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. But it's stuff like that really brings it like a tear to your eye, and also just brings its very heart and warming. And I mean, people say what they will about Dark Side of the Ring, but it's real, it's authentic, and they told a great story and depiction of your father and what we got to see throughout his life and throughout his career. And may he rest in peace. But it's one of those things, man, where you see stuff like that, and we get to see people like you. It's wonderful to really see everything kind of come into alignment, so to speak. And that's really what life is about in itself.
Yeah, it was just showing that human side of him. And even me witnessing that human side of him, like we shed tears together. And I was like, wow, my dad did miss me. My dad does love me. Like, I always knew he did, but we were countries apart. And so I took that leap of just showing up at his doorstep, 15 years of not seeing each other. And thank God he wasn't like, get the hell out of here. Like, no, instead we shared this beautiful moment, and it's captured on Dark Side of the Ring. That reenactment, it feels so real to me. It's almost like as if someone was there recording us, and that moment is like recorded and I can watch it on TV. It's just wild because like the way his apartment's set up and everything, it looks so like true to what it was. And it's from the backside of us. You can't actually see like the actors. So it's like, it feels so real watching it. It's like, it's kind of cool.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, I look at it from a stance like this too as well. You got to have that moment with your father, like a lot of us do in our lives, and family. I truly believe, and I know we all can agree with this, is the most important thing. So having that closure, having that reunitement, it's wonderful. I'm really glad you got to have that moment, because it really does help. You're very welcome.
Yeah, I never wanted to live in regret. And that's why I showed up at his doorstep, because I was like, well, what if he dies like tomorrow? Or what if I go another year and then he dies? Like I never wanted to live with that regret. So I'm really happy I got to see him kind of the last 5 years of his life. And then, so no regrets.
That's how it has to be in life, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely no regrets, to quote Madonna in her hit song Human Nature. I digress, but I look at it from a stance like this. No regrets, and just keeping on. I got to say, one of the things I do love about your social media as well, Miss Bronwyne, god dang it, man, you pulled off the Alicia Silverstone look. We got to talk about this.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny, because you should see my skirt right now.
Oh, snap. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now.
It's just like, I said it today. I'm like, there is nothing cuter than like a schoolgirl skirt. Like, I just love it. Knee-high socks. Yeah. Straight out of Phillies.
No, first of all, you rocked that very well, man. I like the nice little tie. You look good. You look great with it.
You're
very welcome.
Yeah.
But that's
She's iconic.
How can you not? I mean, when you look at Alicia Silverstone in the 90s, you think of Clueless. You even think of like one of her underrated classics, like The Crush. Like, the woman was all over the 90s, like Clueless. Who doesn't quote the lines? The Brittany Murphys, God rest their souls. You rocked the look, man, and it was great. Like, you had the whole, like, everything from what Cher was wearing and everything. It was great.
That was so fun. So, yeah, it was their 30th anniversary of the movie. And so I'm like, oh, I'm going to dress like this tomorrow or whatever, because it was the 30th anniversary of that day. But then it was so fun. I'm like, I'm going to do it all week. And then I was like, well, now what am I going to do? So then I just kind of incorporated it into my, onto my social media. I mean, I always did my outfit of the day on Instagram, but now I've moved it over to my OnlyFans. And so that it's only there, like, exclusively of my outfits of the day. And I'll get people to suggest themes, whatever it may be. It could be a color. It could be, they could be thinking outside of the box. It could be a certain item, like, just whatever. I'm like, I'm so creative. Well, yeah, I guess I'm creative with my fashion. Like that is my art. My fashion is my art. My closet is very large, so you can't really stump me. So it's fun.
Absolutely. I gotta tell you, when I look at it though, too, if you're gonna pick something iconic, it's that. And number two, I look at it from a stance 30 years, which is just even crazy to think about that it's already been 30 years since Clueless. And also number three, it adds to the layer. It adds, dare I say, the internal and external beauty, number one, but also number two, it's the style and finesse. And who doesn't love that style and that finesse? It goes with everything that you do.
Oh, and I feel like 90s is super back. It's
Right?
super in again.
I agree too. And
My eldest daughter is 17 and she's like baggy pants, like tiny tops. I'm like, yeah, that's what we did in the 90s.
oh my goodness gracious, you got me flashing back to like the 90s high school movies, like when you had Danielle Harrison, Katherine Heigl, and Wish Upon a Star, for those that remember that classic, with her friggin' like jeans and everything that she wore in the movie. My goodness gracious. But yeah.
Yeah, but then we weren't allowed to wear like little crop tops. Like, you know, we couldn't even have our bra strap showing. But now the shirts my daughter wears to school, I'm like, do you not get in trouble? She's like, no. It's like, girls just wear it because they're like, what are we going to do? They're all wearing it. In public school anyways. I'm sure Catholic's probably different or private schools, but yeah.
So I'm trying to think of the public schools in the States here since I graduated 15 years ago. I can honestly say from when I was in high school, it's kind of similar to what your daughter's going through too. Because it's how it was.
They're like, we give up.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it fits. And I mean, there's so many different layers to it that really goes with it. And besides that, I got to say another love of yours that is of mine as well that comes from the 90s, Marilyn Manson. Let's give a little shout out here because my goodness gracious, man.
I'm like, what do I have around here? I definitely have some stuff. Somewhere, see, it's not framed because I have my signed poster. I met him 2 Mays ago. Was it? No, it was just this past May. Yeah, gosh, my memory is terrible. I've had a very busy summer. That's why I'm like, how long ago was that? But anyway, so I met Marilyn Manson. We did the VIP tickets because he came to Calgary. And I'm like, this is once in a lifetime. Like, I'll just do this once. He's my favorite. I'm going to pay this ridiculous price. And so you got to have one signed item and then a signed poster. So I have to frame my poster and I got my arm signed. And then I was going to go get it tattooed and I still haven't, but I took a picture of it. And I'll just go back and get it. I actually have that scheduled for in 2 weeks. I'm getting it tattooed.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Wonderful.
Because the next day I went and I'm like, well, I'm too hungover to go get this tattooed today. And then it like started washing off, but I had taken a picture of it. So I was like, I'll just go another day. Like we took a picture. It's the same thing. same.
But that's the thing. That's
the other thing is he signed my arm huge. I was like, okay, I thought he would just do 2 M's, like how he does his signature MM. He signed Marilyn Manson, like huge on my arm. I'm like, oh my God, is he trying to brand me? So, now I got to get this huge thing tattooed on me.
Well, I will say this, man. I know you're going to rock it with all the tattoos that you have. First and foremost, I think the body is the temple, number one. But number two, one of the greatest forms of art form, like we mentioned in the show thus far, is the tattoo. It's everything that's meaningful to you. And you definitely rock it, man. It adds another like aesthetic to the character and your being. It definitely suits you well.
Thank you. Yeah, when I first started getting tattoos, I started small, like little wrists, like the black.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Oh, that way. And I was like, I'm going to do all black tattoos. And then my first color tattoo, I think, was this flower here. And that's the one that made me go, nope, I'm doing all color. And before I never wanted a sleeve, but that tattoo there made me go, no, I'm doing a sleeve. And I wanted all color. So I changed my vibe along the way. First, I started off small and black, but then I'm like, no, I'm a colorful person, like my closet. I never liked wearing black before, even though I'm weird. I'm kind of like a pastel goth, I would say, because I'm a colorful, like my music choices are gothic, but I like being colorful. So I like to say like a pastel goth kind of thing.
I like that. That's a nice little comparison. I like that a lot.
It's just me to a T. Like I'm a Gemini, so I have like the 2 sides of me, as they say, 2 personalities. So I'm like very colorful, but then I'm also like heavy metal rocker chick.
I can dig that too. It is a nice blend to like put in between them, but also at the same time too, when you have someone like Marilyn Manson with songs like The Beautiful People, The Dope Show, Disposable Teens, We'll Be Here All Day, a lot of his music really translated a lot with the youth as well as the teens, as well as with adults. There's something for everybody. And I think he certainly evoked emotions and elicited reactions. Still to this day, he's still like, everybody still talks about his music.
Yes. And how he got that rumor spread about him without Internet back in the day, we'll never know.
I never know either.
You'll never know.
But that's the thing too. Like, he got people talking, and that was the main thing about it too. Like, I mean, every one of his music videos. Like, I even remember, for those that remember 2000, Marshall Mathers LP, when he was in Eminem's "The Way I Am" music video. Like, that was so cool at the time.
I just watched that documentary Stan on the weekend.
Nice. I've seen that. I have to catch up on it. Is it good?
Yes. I mean, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into, like what it was about. I thought it'd be more like just himself, but it's, a lot of his fans are actually talking. But so at first I was like, but then it ended really good, I think, personally.
Okay. I'll have to check.
It took me halfway through to kind of get more into it. Yeah.
Understood. I will definitely check that out. That'll definitely be on my recommendation. So thank you for that.
Yes.
Now I will say,
sorry, I had something to say about Marilyn Manson. I've been a fan since grade 7.
Okay.
So I was 12 years old, and that's kind of when Beautiful People came out, and he was supposed to come to Calgary, and people petitioned so that he was canceled here. So I went back in the day. You'd have to go to do you know what the Bay is?
Yes.
Yeah. So the Bay, I don't know, there was like a little ticket master inside the Bay. So you'd line up there to get your tickets. I skipped school to go get my Marilyn Manson tickets. And then he got canceled, and so I never got to see him. And before that, I had met Soundgarden with my Uncle Brett. He took us backstage because, of course, Brett was a big music fan, and he'd always take me and my cousin backstage to meet bands. So I told all my friends, my Uncle Brett's going to take us to meet Marilyn Manson, even though there was no conversation. I just, I'm just assuming. Thank God the concert got canceled, because I would have been known as a big liar.
You got me freaking thinking as well when you mentioned the Bay. Like, here in the States, I'm just thinking everybody picking up their posters and tickets waiting outside in the mall.
Right.
And it makes me smile, but it also kind of crushes me because I'm like, nobody does that anymore. Nobody does
now you're just online,
Yeah. You're like, yeah.
Yeah.
But that is a great story to have. Well, thankfully you weren't thought of as a big liar now. So that's
I was like, you know what? He got canceled. My Uncle Brett was going to take us, guys.
But also, when you have someone like Soundgarden, come on, Black Hole Sun, Don't You Come. Soundgarden is another one that really revolutionized the 90s.
I know. And again, I have a Soundgarden quote right here. No one sings like you anymore.
This one over here with the no ones. Oh, that is wonderful. First of all, if there's anything to put in ink on your arm, that's awesome. That's really cool to see, Bronwyn. And I mean, stuff like that, it really resonates with a lot of people. And that's why music is one of the greatest things of the soul. And I will say this, apart being the greatest things of the soul, as far as the professional wrestling side as well, we here at LFC, we love what we do at Lingerie Fighting Championships. This one over here, I got to say, first and foremost, a little bit of MMA, a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of clothing. When it comes to Lingerie Fighting Championships, we just rocked it in the UK. We did our thing for LFC 43, Independence Day 2, LFC 44. And the name Bronwyn as well, we were touching upon this. Again, you have that tie-in with it as well. How awesome was that to see just a lot of the LFC girls go to the UK?
Amazing. I believe my girlfriend Danny Moe was there. She was in Wales. I believe it was Wales. Yeah. And my name is Welsh. Bronwyn is a Welsh name. So there you go.
And I got to say, well, I think what's really cool about it is, now I got to ask you, because I also think it's a great name, like Bronwyn and being Welsh. Where does the Bronwyn actually come from? The only reason I'm asking, because it's very cool, it's different, and it has a really nice little flow to it when it comes to your name.
I appreciate that. I absolutely despise my name. I recently this year was like, you know what? I'm just going to change it. I was just kind of joking. I put it online, and my mom was like, actually, no, everyone was commenting. I already know my mom would kill me, and so I would never do it. But everyone was commenting no, please don't change your name. I love your name and all this. I'm like, guys, I was just half joking, being sarcastic. But I just don't like my name because no one knows how to say it. They always pronounce it wrong. Whenever I was in school, they'd read it. My mom put a silent E on the end. So they'd say Brownie. I got that a lot. When they do the attendance list, they're like Brownie. And I'm like, Bronwyn. But where does it come from? My mom, I'm her first child, my mom and dad's first child. And so she got a baby name book, of course, because she was all excited. She was pregnant. And so she read every single name. So till she got to the B's, and then she saw my name, and she kept going, but the name kept popping back in her head. So she kept turning back. But my dad was he said no, because he said it's an old lady name in England. It's like, that's an old lady name. But my mom, she won.
Well, I will say this first and foremost.
But It does flow. It does flow.
Does.
Bronwyne Jewel Billington. Like nothing flows more beautifully than that. So good job, Mom.
Absolutely. But I think it's stuff like that too. And I mean, let's be honest with ourselves here, folks. Also, Brownie, first of all, I'm just picturing just Brownie in school. I get it. I understand.
As a kid, you're just mortified.
Oh my
And then in kindergarten, I had a bus driver.
Okay.
And she used to call me Winnie. And I loved that nickname. I thought it was the cutest nickname ever. And so later in life, I tried to get it going and no one caught on. I'm like, please, like, I want you to call me this. And it was funny. It was my nephew's baby shower. Well, like my brother had his first child. And I put Love Auntie Winnie on the gift. And I was like, I'm going to get this going. And then I had to leave like before. They took all the presents home. So they opened their gifts at home. And they were literally like, who the hell is Auntie Winnie? And they asked everyone. They didn't know who it was. I'm like, oh, that's me. Yeah.
I think what's also very cool about it too is if you've been looking at it from like the pop culture standpoint, like Winnie, you got greats like Winnie the Pooh from like.
I love Winnie the Pooh. I love fat animals. So yeah.
Yes. I mean, the other one we can think of here, folks, is Winnie Cooper, friggin' the Wonder Years. That's another one that sticks out because she was a popular character in Wonder Years. It works.
I don't know. A lot of people, like a lot of guys, for some reason, call me Bronny. I'm like, why can't we get Winnie going? It's cute.
True, but isn't there? Okay, so all right, now I'm gonna all right, now we're really going into this with the brownies and stuff. We're gonna go this like there's brownies, like the people that are like the brownies, like unicorns and stuff and everything like with that. And then there's also like brownie, like
My Little Bronies.
Yes, like something. There's like, oh no, that's the bronies. I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something. Bronies, not the bronies.
I like My Little Ponies though, so
that is true. All right. Yeah. I mean, brownie is like I think here in the States, paper towel was the brand, like the brownie paper towels.
Like BRAU.
Yeah, something like that.
There's many different ways to spell Bronwyn as well. That might be one way.
True. Okay. All right. Well, I got to say, Winnie does have a nice little ring to it.
Get it going, guys. Retweet hashtag
Winnie. Hashtag Winnie.
Love it.
And I will say this as well. What else will we love besides the wrestling with what you do with your managerial style, adding that nice little goth mix of just sexiness to it? And I got to give you credit, man. The external beauty is flowing and it's nice and fluid with what you do. And I look at it from a sense like this, bro. When you're doing your thing on the OnlyFans side of things, let's talk about this because we get to see a lot of great stuff encompassed there with your imagery. Talk about the OnlyFans side, man, because you got a lot of great deals going on with that.
Yeah. I think I don't know how long ago it was. Maybe 2 years ago, I did my first like real professional photo shoot. And that just changed everything for me because I realized, oh my God, like I look really good and I don't need a filter. You know, it's so much different using a camera on your phone than a professional photographer taking your photos. You realize how beautiful you are and like, oh my God, I don't need a filter. Because I think, that's a problem this day and age is we think we have to filter everything and we get criticized for it too. And so I'm like, actually, guys, I don't with these photos. So these are a lot of my most real, raw photos, professional photos where I feel my best. And that really, truly is me. And yeah, I just dialed into that modeling side, which I never knew I could be one. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun. And I give a lot of credit to my personal photographer, John Vitzvix. You see a lot of his page tagged on my Instagram and throughout my OnlyFans. So I was really putting it out there on Instagram at first, but now I've moved everything over to OnlyFans. So yeah, and I'm trying to not just do photography as well, but more of a daily look into my life every single day. So if it's what I'm eating and dieting, workouts, my animals, like just all my passions, my clothes, trying on clothes for photo shoots. Like that's something I'll do, like have people vote. Like, should I wear this? Should I wear that? Yeah. Concerts, baseball games, sports, wrestling, behind the scenes, getting there, traveling. So it's almost like a reality show. In a day in my life is how I want it to look.
I look at it from a stand, say this. Well, first and foremost, I will add this because of one thing that you did state that got me right here, just because of the fact women, y'all don't need those filters. You really don't. And I'm going to put that out there because more women just need to just show their natural beauty and their natural selves. And you certainly did rock it with the photo shoots. So definitely go out of your way and check it out.
I mean, I'm absolutely guilty for using filters, like not going to lie, but and people are like, you don't need that or like, why are you over filtering your photos? But it's like, because my camera on my phone takes piece of shit photos. Okay. That's why the lighting in here sucks. I'm not a professional. So sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But if you actually have good lighting and a good camera and like, you know, all that, you're good.
And I will say this about OnlyFans, and I love the fact that you also do the behind the scenes stuff, like you mentioned, and really showcasing like your daily life. I've always said this about OnlyFans, and I think the always misconception of it and what people misunderstood. It's not just what people perceive it to be when they think of OnlyFans, like spicy content. I'm like, there's other stuff that brings the community together, and I think that other outlook, like you do, really adds a lot of uniqueness and perspective to it.
Yes, and that's what I'm trying to do. At first, I went on there and I was like, I have these rules. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. And I did find myself bending a little bit right away. I was like, oh, okay, well, this guy wants this. And okay, well, this is, you know, it's just this. And, you know, it's just bare breasts or, you know, things like that. I'm like, because Playboy's also always been a dream of mine. So I was like, well, if I want to do Playboy, then what does it matter if they see my breasts? Like, but then, no, I wanted to stay true to who I am. And my goal is to get my dad into the Hall of Fame. So I was like, I need to be very careful what I put out there and stay very true to myself. So even if Playboy is the goal, like that's the goal down the road later on when my dad made it into the Hall of Fame, I don't have to worry about who's going to pull what up on me, you know, that kind of stuff. So yeah, I just want to really showcase who I am. And I think I have lots of different avenues that I can venture down and showcase. And, you know, to me, I'm like, is this interesting? But I think it is because I have a lot of different layers to myself and a lot of people don't have that. So.
I think first and foremost also as well, like you got to think in life, man, it's the representation of your presentation. You're representing yourself well and you have to present yourself well. And I look at it from a stance like this, from what you're doing there and that avenue, you're adding the layers and it's also uniqueness and variety. As they say, variety is the spice of life, but you're also kind of like a Jill of all trades where it's like, this is me, this is my extension. Okay, we'll add this to this. Yeah. So it works perfectly. Yeah.
And I don't mind, you know, lingerie, like that's just modeling. So that's fine. That's kind of the extent that I go.
Right. Now, I have to say this. So we always talk about style and aesthetic, and we talk about internal and external beauty. Now, Miss Bronwyne Billington, I got to ask you the question here because this is the Lingerie Fighting Championships podcast. We got a lot of beautiful women in LFC doing their thing, empowering themselves, showcasing.
Yeah.
I got to ask you, Bronwyne, what's some of your favorite lingerie?
Like brands or just like things to wear?
Could be like either or. Like brands or things for either or, because the lingerie goes with many different layers. What are some of the ones that you're really into? Like it could be brand, or it could just be style or finesse.
Gosh, I don't know. I'd probably say like lacy, floral. One pieces are really nice and complimenting. Something that shows those butt cheeks, accentuates the breasts because mine are getting a little with my weight loss. So I need that oomph in there, you know, some padding.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what? Shein is so cheap and it's beautiful. I bought so many different outfits for my last photo shoot. You know, I think I got 12 outfits for like $100. No, maybe $200. Yeah, either way, that's like the steal of a deal.
Well, I will say that you do have a nice little style when it comes to lingerie. And first and foremost, congratulations on the weight loss as well. I think that's awesome. It's keeping your body intact as well. That's wonderful. Congratulations.
Thank you. As soon as I hit 40, it was just, I've always been naturally like blessed. Yeah, I didn't have to work out too hard. But as soon as I hit 40, it was more about like my muscles felt weak and tired. And I was like, I need to strengthen my bones because now I'm getting older and I need to take care of my body. And so yeah, it was never really about weight loss, but more about, you know, my mental health and just keeping my body strong.
First and foremost, that's wonderful. Again, I think it's what we do in life is we exist to inspire. And I think right there is just the reason to exist to inspire, staying positively proactive, the mental health, the physical health, the weight loss, everything that really keeps a lot of people going. So I think you're definitely inspiring on that front.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind. Oh, I like neon too. Lots of neons. Bright.
Nice. Okay. So I'm thinking with lingerie, give you some neon stuff, give you some elegant
Pink.
stuff. Pink.
Pink's my favorite color.
All right. Well, okay.
Orange, pink, orange, yellow, red.
Red. Okay. All right. Nice.
Sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
No, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. I'll be honest, I wasn't surprised with Pink because as soon as you said Bret the Hitman Hart, like, I mean, the pink, the black, come on, man, the pink and black attack. Let's go, baby. Heart Foundation style. Yes.
Yeah, I've gone through like weird. When I first started managing, it was like all sequence and red and blue because I wanted to do like the Union Jack thing and Miss Elizabeth thing. And then that changed. Like I didn't like red anymore. You kind of go through phases. And then it was like pink and black, like, and the heel stuff, and then red and black, and then yeah, now I'm liking red and pink, so I'm just all over the map.
Oh, it works, man. I think when even you're looking at your earlier stuff with managing, like that Marilyn Manson type of vibe mixed with like, okay, I'm going to add my sexiness to it. It works, and I think that's how you learn, how you adapt with managing. Okay, I want to wear this, I want to wear that, and you constantly learn. It's an aesthetic for people. It's what really makes people gravitate. It's the gravitational pull, so to speak.
Yes. And I'll never wear the same thing twice.
Is that the ultimate rule? They just never wear the same thing twice? That's like
not in life, but like managing.
Okay.
I can't repeat outfits. That's why Shein is great because it's pretty cheap. I will repeat items, like say a pair of leather pants. I'll rewear, but not like the same outfit head to toe. No.
Fair enough. Okay.
No matter how hard I try, I just can't. Because that's the biggest part for me is the gimmicks, the outfits, the costume.
I mean, I look at it like this, and we mentioned Sherry Martel earlier, like probably one of the best runs of her career. But of course, we always talk about Shawn Michaels, and we'll talk about like Harlem Heat and WCW. But for me, like even if it's so underrated, like when she was with Randy Macho Man Savage, when he was doing the Macho King, like that stuff, even right there, just showed some of her best heel work. Even when she was with Macho, and you're working off that, it works even better.
Yes, she was amazing.
Absolutely was,
and that's the two sides of me: Miss Elizabeth and then Sherry.
Now, are we talking sensational Sherry or scary Sherry?
Scary Sherry.
Yeah. Well, I will say this, my dear friend. Besides the fact that you're a Jill of all trades in this realm of professional wrestling, you have now entered a new realm, which I got to congratulate you once more. You're in the podcasting realm. Congratulations on the first episode coming out.
Thank you. No, yeah, it's been released, my first episode. So I'll be recording my second episode this weekend.
Okay, so let's talk about the podcast side of things because it's a great platform for a lot of people and everybody gets to know the insides and outs and really get to know you and your guests. Talk about the name, talk about everything that we get to expect from the pod.
Yeah, again, so the name is Dirt with the Doll. Just something that, I don't know, it kind of popped into my head. And I think the movie The Dirt came out and, not that it's going to be like the dirt sheets or anything, because I don't want to be like a gossiping podcast. It's not going to be like that at all. I just thought it had a cool ring to it and kind of a nod to the rocker side of me. So Dirt with the Doll, like the movie The Dirt about Motley Crue. And it's going to be a loosely based wrestling podcast. So probably similar to this, like people that are linked to wrestling somehow, some way, but we're going to talk about everything else that you do in life and just everything that's my passions. Like I want to know about music. We're going to talk about music. We're going to talk about fashion. We'll talk about anything and everything. I went to LA this past weekend to see Oasis. So I did my first episode of Dirt with the Doll and I released it. And then I wanted to keep the momentum going. So I was already like, oh my God, I'm gone this weekend. I can't do my second episode. Because I just want to, I don't know. I'm ADHD. So once I get going, I can't stop because I'm a hard worker. I love to work. So I was like, well, what can I do while I'm on the road? So I decided to just vlog my whole trip. So I'm still putting that whole video together. So I'm going to try different things. I'll try vlogging. I'll try, my interviewing. Sometimes maybe I'll just jump on and talk about something I saw on wrestling or at a concert or whatever it may be. I have lots of different passions, even animal welfare is something I'm passionate about. So I'll just kind of jump on and do my thing same way I do on OnlyFans. I kind of just want it to be whatever is going on in my world that day. I'll just jump on and do it.
So what I will do for all the great LFC fans and wrestling fans out there that listen to this fine program, I will put the link in the description so y'all can check out Dirt with the Doll.
And it's going to be under X Brand Wrestling on YouTube. So you guys need to like and subscribe. And every single episode, I have the little picture in the corner of Dynamite Kid for Hall of Fame. So we're going to hashtag and share that until we get in there.
I will say this, my friend. I cannot wait to listen to more of these shows. I got to say, if you've gotten to check it, get a chance at Bronwyne over here. Very authentic, very real, very fun. You definitely showcase your vibrancy within the show.
Yeah, I can't wait to see how it transpires as well.
Well, I will say this, man. I will say this, as far as we've seen you in so many great promotions, and we touched upon Battleground Championship Wrestling and the work that you've done in Philly and everything that encompasses the great career of the Dynamite doll. I got to say, one time we've had Danny Moe here, and this for the UK show. We've had a lot of great women from professional wrestling. We got to get the Dynamite doll in LFC sometime, whether it's a ring girl.
Yes.
Oh, Sean Donnelly, I'm looking at you, LFC CEO over there, man. We got to get us some Dynamite.
I got experience in boxing, so. And I love it. I loved it. I loved being a ring girl.
Oh, we do appreciate your words of wisdom and your respect and your fandom of this brand, as we do with each and every one of you. God dang it, man. We got so many great artists applying their crafts in amazing fashion. And you, my Dynamite friend, I'd love to have you back for round 2. It's been great picking your brain tonight and just shooting the breeze.
Yes, I'd love to come back round 2.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. One of the things I have to ask before we do close this out, we talked about life in itself. You know, we talked about the arts. We talked about many different things here in today's fine program. But for you, Miss Bronwyne Billington, what are some of the things, and we'll ask a 2-part of this, what are some of the things that you are grateful for from professional wrestling and in life? And number 2, what are some of the biggest takeaways that you've learned thus far within your career?
I think what I'm the most grateful for in wrestling is, just the people you get to meet and network with. So I'm starting to branch out more, like more to the States. I have met so many friends around the world before even like traveling to the States, just on social media through wrestling and connecting, like Black Dahlia. I've made some of my best friends online through wrestling, just talking about wrestling, or, you know, they were a fan of my dad. Like, I've met so many cool people that way. So I'm really grateful for the life that my father built for me. I mean, he came from the UK and came to Canada, and I was born here, and I've had a very cushy life here and unique upbringing. So I'm grateful for that. And yeah, and it's not over.
Alrighty. Well, I will say this, man. You do always learn, and you always live and learn, if you will. To quote the great Cher from Clueless, if you will, Alicia Silverstone reference, baby. I look at it from a stance like this, man. I cannot wait to see where your journey takes you. And I hope each and every one of you who listen to this and are on your journeys continue to apply your craft in amazing fashion. Just overall, just be awesome and do you, because that's the only way that we can be, is just to be ourselves. So,
and I do want to add that, because I think I forgot the second part of the question.
Oh, that's okay. No, you're totally fine. What was the takeaways? My apologies.
Yes, the takeaways is to stay true to yourself, because you feel like you have to be a certain way or a certain mold to be hired or to be looked at. And I think that just isn't being true to yourself, and you don't really make it far in life if you're not being true to yourself. So as soon as you own who you are, you're sure of yourself, it's like manifestation. It just comes. So just stay true to who you are and your vision, and that's like so important, especially if you're going to be in these like big companies. You know, you don't want to water down your true self.
Beautifully and eloquently said. Let the creative juices flow and just do you. I like your style, man. That is definitely the best representation of your presentation. And with that being said, Miss Bronwyne Billington, you're all over the socials. You're doing your thing, the podcast realm, the OnlyFans. Where can we follow you? The floor is yours.
Well, Instagram, if you follow me on Instagram, Dynamite Doll, I have my link tree on there, and it has all my links on there. So just go onto the link tree. It has all my father's links as well, merchandise, and all my links are going to be on there for my podcast, for my X, for my OnlyFans, for my Patreon, and whatever the hell else I'm going to add to it. Pretty soon the movie, that'll be on there.
Hall of Fame movie and just all around greatness that goes within the Billington family. I am very, very privileged, and it's an honor to speak with you, just because, again, wrestling royalty and wrestling just awesomeness, man. One of my favorite matches is always will be anything involving the Dynamite Kid as well as the British Bulldog. Some of the best tag team matches of the 80s, and some that I've actually had the privilege of watching with my father. So that really holds.
I love that.
Thank you. Now, folks, when it comes to lingerie fighting championships and great guests like this one over here, Miss Bronwyne Billington, y'all can go to lfcfights.com, go to the VIP section, and check out the LFC events like LFC 43, it's Independence Day 2 live from the UK, LFC 44, Ultimate Underground and Underground Knockouts in Wales, as well as this fine program, as well as Tommy Bellart Sketchy and Funny, as well as LFC Exposed reality show. You get a whole lot of great content, and you get a whole lot of awesomeness that comes within each and every one of these guests and each and every one of our fine participants, athletes, and staff. And with that being said, Ms. Bronwyne Billington, do you have any final words for the LFC faithful and just to the peeps in general?
I just thank you so much for having me here today, and I would love to join one of your shows one day. If it's, as a special guest, anything, I would love to be there, especially in Wales. Let's get a Bronwyne to Wales.
I like that. We're putting the
everyone. Yeah. Oh yeah. # Winnie. And everyone, thank you so much for, your support and just continuing to be such, great fans of my father. It means the world to me, and couldn't do it without the fans.
And we appreciate and couldn't do without you with all your just around awesomeness and vibrancy, Miss Bronwyne Billington. So with that being said, y'all, as my mindset of the show, as well as the message behind this very program, beauty, strength, and dominance, the 3 key elements that make women the work of art that they are, and Miss Dynamite doll Bronwyne Billington, I include you in those sentiments. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Hi everyone, I'm the Dynamite Doll, your host for my new up-and-coming podcast, Dirt with the Doll. I'm going to be conducting my very first interview this Sunday, and what I want to do is let you guys in on who my first guest is going to be. And some audience engagement would be so great. So what I would like from you guys is please submit some questions that you would like to ask my first guest, and I'll pick about 3 of them. I'll sift through, pick the best ones, and see what goes with my flow of questions. So my very first guest, super exciting, is going to be Jade Hart, the eldest daughter of Bret the Hitman Hart. So please submit me your questions. This is a very unique one-off opportunity to get Jade interviewed. So make it worth your while. I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun. And I can't wait to welcome you all to the door.